Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English Conversation channel. Today, we're going to explore some intriguing English phrases and idioms that will help you expand your language skills. So, let's get started. Our first phrase is the dark side of something. This is an idiom that refers to the negative or harmful aspects or consequences of a particular situation, action, or concept. It suggests that there's a hidden or undesirable aspect to something that may not be immediately apparent. For instance, the dark side of technology is that it can lead to social isolation and addiction to screens. Next up, we have can't live without someone something. This phrase expresses a strong emotional attachment or dependency on a particular person, thing, or experience. It indicates that the person feels they would have a very difficult time or would be extremely unhappy if that someone or something were absent from their life. For instance, I can't live without my morning coffee. It's what gets me through the day. Phrase number 3 is sure until. This phrase is used to express a conditional agreement or willingness to do something, but with the implication that the agreement may change or be reconsidered if certain conditions or difficulties arise. It suggests that the speaker is willing to go along with something, but only up to a point. For instance, sure, I'll help you with your project, until it becomes too difficult for me to manage alongside my own work. Now, let's explore our final term for today. Lastly, we have coat. This term refers to a thin layer of paint covering a surface. It's a single application or layer of paint used for coloring or covering a surface. For example, she applied a fresh coat of paint to her bedroom walls to give the room a new look. Now that we've covered these phrases and terms, let's continue with the main content of today's Power English.
Everybody.
Hi everyone, I'm Jo Kristen Myung-hee.
And I'm Cameron Lee Word.
Okay, so Jo Kristen Myung-hee
Yes.
is actually on my registration card.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a bit of a hassle when I have to do the 인증, It's like, write it all capital.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I don't get it right, it won't work.
It won't let you through.
Yeah, it's very long. I don't know why I did that. I could have just said Kristen Cho. So much easier.
Well, I had a problem.
Yeah.
Some of my registration was in English,
Yeah.
English letters.
All right.
And then some was in Hangul.
Uh-oh.
And then, in Hangul, it was Cameron for some and Cameron
Oi!
for some. And a few years ago,
Yeah.
things like, for here, like taxes and health insurance and whatever, all different. So it was the biggest, it was so difficult to get it all back into one thing. But yeah, if you are a foreigner living in Korea, or you're about to, make sure to choose your name. Choose the simplest version of your name.
That is true. Very good.
Before you start making official registration.
Excellent tip.
Yeah.
Okay, EMFs are everywhere. This is our last dialogue, the dark side of technology.
Yes. For anyone just joining us on this part of the series, EMF stands for electromagnetic fields. 전기파. Yeah, 전기파. Dark side of. I don't know if this comes from Star Wars. But it is a Star Wars word.
The dark side.
Yeah.
Yes, there's like the Jedi and the dark side.
Right.
That is so very true. Okay.
So the dark side, or the Sith, right? The bad guys.
Yeah.
It just means like the not good side, the negative side of things.
Yes, that's right. All right. And so along with that, there are two other expressions. If you cannot live without something or someone, what does this mean?
This is a dramatic way of saying, oh, I need this, or it's extremely necessary.
Okay. And lastly, it's, hard to swallow. I mean, are you eating food and it's hard to swallow?
That is one meaning. So, like, if you're trying to take a pill and it's too big and you can't swallow it, you would say it's hard to swallow.
Right.
But it also means it's hard to believe or hard to accept. It's like a reality that you want to deny but cannot.
Okay, so it's hard to accept, hard to believe. Let's go ahead and listen to our dialogue.
Wow, your room looks so good. Did you use the EMF paint and then a coat of yellow?
Yes. And look at the meter. There's almost no EMFs in here.
You know, as much as we love technology, we never think about the dark side of it.
Right. We think we can't live without our phones and smart TVs. But we were fine before them.
Still, I think people still find electromagnetic hypersensitivity a little hard to swallow.
Sure, until it affects them or someone they love.
Here we go. So Abdul says, wow, your room looks so good. Did you use the EMF paint and then a coat of yellow?
Ooh, a yellow room.
Okay, so they use the EMF paint, and then there is a coat of yellow.
Yes.
So when we think of the word coat, C-O-A-T, we think of like kotu, like winter coat.
Yeah,
right?
like you wear to stay warm.
Yeah. What does this mean?
So here, coat is another word for layer. So you can talk about layers of paint, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers, or you can talk about coats of paint. So you cannot use coat every time you use layer. So like a layered cake, you can't say 5-coat cake.
Yeah.
You cannot say that.
No.
But when you're talking about painting, you can use layers or coats in the same way.
Yes, that's right. A coat of paint. Also, when you're doing your fingernails, your fingers, your nails.
You have your
coat. Yeah, you have your base coat.
Yeah.
And then you have your, I don't know. I don't do my nails.
Usually you talk about it whenever you go over something more than once.
Yeah.
So you often, like my father does a lot of painting rooms and houses.
Right.
You don't often do 1 coat of paint.
That's right.
You usually do at least 2.
2, at
often
least.
3.
Often 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And Antonia says, yes, and look at the meter. There's almost no EMFs in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like this coat really does work.
Yeah.
I mean, the paint.
It's kind of that base coat.
Yes.
The first coat of EMF paint that they put on. And then Abdul says, you know, as much as we love technology, we never think about the dark side of it.
So yes, technology has made our lives so convenient and just so easy.
Yes.
But we have not thought about the dark side.
Yeah.
So the dark side of something, I think, it's kind of we can figure it out.
Yeah. That is the bad side, the negative side.
Right.
So it can be this technology. You can have the dark side of a person, the dark side of an industry. You know how they talk about like the K-pop, it's wonderful, all these successful singers.
Yeah.
The dark side is
Pharmaceutical companies.
Oh yeah. Like these.
Yeah.
You often see this in like documentaries.
Yeah.
But the dark side.
dark
side. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The dark side of penguins. I don't know. And you can also have a more neutral meaning.
Yeah.
We also say like the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Being the part of the moon that we do not get to see.
Right. I mean, that's literally the dark side, right? Yeah. As opposed to the bright side. But yeah, the dark side is kind of like sometimes like the ugly side of a certain thing.
The scary things in the shadows.
The dark side of the industry, the business. Okay, we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Antonia says, right, we think we can't live without our phones and smart TVs, but we were fine before them.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Like 1950.
Listen, I am from that generation. Not even 1950s. I mean, when I was a kid, like TVs, you had your TVs, but there was no cell phones, no computers when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I lived without it.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, our house didn't have a computer, and I was the first person in my family to get a cell phone.
Wow.
Maybe before my father.
Yeah.
But I was in high school. Yeah. So I have some memories, and we were fine.
Yes. So the expression to not or can't live without means simply that.
Right. So this originally does mean like we can't live without oxygen. If humans go 3-4 minutes without oxygen,
right,
we don't live. But now we use it to mean we think we have to have it.
Yeah.
But we really don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So then Abdul says what?
Still, I think people still find electromagnetic hypersensitivity a little hard to swallow.
Okay, so we call that EMH. EMH.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this idea, this electromagnetic hypersensitivity, is a little hard to swallow for most people.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? How do they feel about EMH?
Here we're talking about belief. So we're talking about, is that real? I don't know if that's real. That's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah.
We're not talking about actually eating food. We're talking about like,
Accepting.
I don't know if that's true.
True.
Either
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it, or I don't want to believe it.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I mean, aside from this situation, like a belief or a theory or a concept, it's hard to swallow. Like, oh, I can't accept that. But also sometimes, like, if you're at the doctor's office and you are diagnosed with a serious disease, in the beginning, it could be very hard to swallow.
Yeah. I don't want to think that I
can't. No,
Yeah.
that can't be true.
That can't be true.
Yeah, yeah. So we can use it in that context. We'll give you more examples later. And finally, what does Antonio say?
Sure, until it affects them or someone they love.
Okay. Sure until is our power pattern.
Yes.
What is this doing?
This is a phrase. It's a great native sounding phrase.
Yeah.
And it just means like, yeah, of course they don't until they have to deal with it.
Okay.
So this is often like, yeah, until it becomes their problem. So it's making fun of these people that don't believe in this electromagnetic hypersensitivity because they're like, that's not real. And then they end up having to deal with it.
Right.
And they're like, oh my goodness, this is such an important issue.
Yeah.
They become very serious about it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So it's being a little critical. And that's why she's saying, sure. Until.
Right. So that's really important. Like, this is hard to understand if we don't explain it to you. It's kind of like, that tone is very important.
It's like, oh, you don't think this is your problem, huh? Yeah, okay. Sure.
Right. So that word sure, you have to be careful how you hear this in the context. It's like, sure, could be like, of course. But if you say, sure,
Yeah, it's very sarcastic here.
That's
yeah, okay. You try. Sure. That's the feeling of this sure until.
Thank you for that, Cameron. Let's
you
go
very
ahead and listen to that one more time.
Wow, your room looks so good. Did you use the EMF paint and then a coat of yellow?
Yes. And look at the meter. There's almost no EMFs in here.
You know, as much as we love technology, we never think about the dark side of it.
Right. We think we can't live without our phones and smart TVs. But we were fine before them.
Still, I think people still find electromagnetic hypersensitivity a little hard to swallow.
Sure. Until it affects them or someone they love.
Here we go. Let's have a little quick review through Power Note. The dark side of something means kind of the negative or maybe hidden part of something, okay? Why did Emma Smith quit acting in movies?
She said that the dark side of the film industry was difficult to deal with.
How about this? The dark side of being a celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Everything looks so glamorous and so wow, like so cool, but there's a whole nother side.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people never talk about the dark side of fame and fortune.
So true.
How about billionaires? Wow, that must be nice to have so much money. Do you think there's a dark side?
Oh, I mean, I think once you get famous or rich, it's hard to have friends. Like real friends.
Yeah, that's right. Or you're always suspicious.
Yeah,
of
you're always
friendships.
do they like me? Do they like
Do they like me for me or for my money?
I think it would be really hard to like trust that anybody actually likes you for you.
I agree.
To be honest.
Right. So it's kind of like, we can't imagine their life, but we can definitely, surely there is something. There's like the dark side of something.
Yeah.
If it gets if you're so famous or you're so rich.
Or like, okay, I saw like a kind of miniature documentary on ballerinas, the dark side of like ballerinas and professional dancers.
Yeah. I bet there is a dark side.
All that stuff they have to go through. What is it? There's even like the K-drama. There's that scene where like the woman and she has like really ugly feet.
Oh, really?
And she's like, this is the dark side of being a ballet dancer.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, if you don't want to put in the pain and suffering, you can't have the beauty.
Right.
That's kind of the feeling. Is like this hidden terrible thing.
Right. That no one knows about.
That you don't see because there's something so beautiful or glamorous or good looking.
I feel like in every field where it gets to be so professional or gets to be at such a high point, I think there's a dark side to it all.
Yeah.
You know? Just like if you're so good, you know, so famous of a dancer or, you know, like violinist or whatever it may be, like all of those wonderful areas can also have a dark side.
Yeah. If you look in even charities, you know, charities that are supposed to be like helping people.
Yes. Nonprofit.
Yeah, nonprofit. There is some dark side to those charities.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I'm not pointing out any of them, and there are good charities that do good work. But
we've heard it in the news.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't live without something or someone, it means that it's so necessary for you. It's so useful. It's hard to live without it.
Yeah.
How have you been since you and Tom broke up?
Not good. I realized that I can't live without him.
Okay. I can't live
living without you.
I can't live. Okay. There we go.
That's an awful Mariah Carey impersonation.
No, it's not Mariah Carey. There was another original singer.
Oh, I only know the Mariah Carey version.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that. Okay.
She's saying that she needs him to live. He's so important to her.
That's right.
So this is a very dramatic way of expressing that emotion.
Right. I mean, I can say the next one. I can't live without coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Could you
agree?
Really?
I cannot.
Really?
Yeah, I can't live without it.
I mean, I definitely I had to get my 건강검진, my health exam, and you can't drink coffee.
Right.
I did think that was the worst part. Is not having coffee in the morning.
Right. You were like, I can't live without coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's because it was just 1 day or 2 days. Imagine you every day you can't live without you can't drink coffee. No. I can't live without coffee. So everyone, all of our listeners, think about something that you can't live without.
Yeah, it could be a food item. It could be a person.
Yeah.
It could be a celebrity, like a music group that you like.
Sure.
Or a TV show.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I don't think I can live without a dog anymore.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just part of my life now. All right. Hard to swallow just means hard to believe or accept.
Yes.
Okay. I climbed Kilimanjaro and Mount Everest in the same year.
You? That's hard to swallow considering how out of shape you are.
Okay. In your health condition, I can't believe that.
Oh, yeah, no. Especially Mount Everest, like...
Oh, yeah.
That's
crazy.
Very dangerous.
Okay. Jake claims to be a distant relative of a king of Denmark, but it's a bit hard to swallow.
Yeah, because Jake is, I don't know, like maybe he doesn't look Danish.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe you go around and say, oh, I am like, my family, we're like the descendants of, King Sejong. Oh, really? Like, and you get more information, but there's not much information.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I feel
hard
at
to
this
swallow.
point, there's enough generations.
Yeah.
Probably every Korean's related to Kim Sejong. Yeah, what is it like? We're all like Genghis Khan?
Yeah, Genghis Khan.
Like
we're all
everyone in the
Mongolians.
world is related to Genghis Khan at this point.
Okay, our power pattern today is sure until.
Yeah.
Meaning.
Yeah. Okay. You think you can do that? Sure until.
Sure. Okay. Sure until it becomes too difficult. Huh.
I'm going to run every day.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Until it becomes too difficult.
Sure. Until the plane lands. Like, I don't know. Maybe Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm not sick at all.
Yeah.
Sure, until the plane lands. Then you're going to get sick.
Right.
Because that's when I get sick mostly is the landing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Coat is our power vocab on page 180. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsor.
한국토익비원회에서 취업가수